So before we get started today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how you may be feeling thus far in the cleanse. If you feel like nothing's happening, if you feel like you're unsure if you're even tuning in or doing it right, or you just don't feel quite sure about what we're doing, don't worry, it's okay. I just want to remind you first and foremost that this is a beta test of this class. So that's why I'm doing it with you live, and my intention is to feel how everyone is experiencing the material and get your feedback. And in the final version, it'll be updated, and it'll also be in ClickFunnels, and it'll be a lot more intuitive in terms of how to follow it. But the point of, and by the way, you will all get the final version. So the class is intended to be able to do over and over again. And the point of week 1 was to really just get a sense of how well you can tune in. And so if it was frustrating for you, or if you feel like you weren't tuning in, you still got valuable information. And as I mentioned in week 1, we live in a world where we have been programmed to live in the mind primarily, not in the heart. And many people say that we're still in the emotional dark ages, that we are just starting to dawn into understanding the heart and understanding emotions. And it makes sense that it's corresponding with us wanting to thrive as well, people wanting to go into that next level and actually thrive and not just survive. But you can't thrive without your heart. And so wherever your heart has been shattered, the pieces must be gathered up and the heart must be restored in order to fully thrive. Because to thrive, we have to be able to feel. And to feel, we need to be able to be sensitive. And to be sensitive means to be vulnerable to getting hurt. And that is why most people have numbed out their ability to feel. It's self-protective because we've been in a very harsh reality. We've been in a war matrix. And we've been programmed with war, over 2,000 years of war. And so it's important that we understand in context what we're doing and not put unrealistic demands on yourself. Because not only have you been programmed with war in your DNA from your ancestors, but also in your life, in your upbringing. We've all had things that we've experienced that have caused us to not feel trust, to not feel safe, to not feel specifically safe feeling deeply and feeling and being sensitive. It's especially if you're an empath or a highly sensitive person, you've probably developed really strong mechanisms to block other people and other things because you do feel. And so week 1 was really about tuning into the heart and getting a sense of where you are. So if you felt frustrated or felt like you weren't sure what you were doing or if you were doing it right, don't worry. I want to remind you that part of what we're doing is learning to make love to our life, learning to have fellowship with our Trinity, within our Trinity, our body, our mind, and our heart. And it's just like when you think about good sex versus bad sex. To have good sex, you need to be able to feel. And the more you can respond to touch and respond to the energy and the synergy that's going on, and the more you can receive it and welcome it, the more pleasure you can have. But if you don't feel safe with the touch or safe with the energy coming towards you, it closes things down. Also, this is just an analogy, but I feel like it's a really perfect analogy. Some women, for example, if their clitoris is overstimulated, it can become numb to sense. And so it can take a lot of stimulation to be able to actually have it stimulated and feel pleasure in the body. And this can happen as well. Overstimulation, when we are just, our whole central nervous system is overstimulated. And so it's difficult for us we've developed sort of a numbing agent, and it takes a lot to actually be able to stimulate our whole circulatory system again, to feel alive and to feel that life force and that vitality moving through us and to feel like we can engage with life. So no matter where you are in the process, it's okay. And don't feel like don't judge yourself and don't judge the process. Just take it as data. Wherever you are, know that it's invaluable information to have.